So, excuse me, to log in, you'll come to this screen. You'll start off on the Deer Park ISD website, and then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see that we've got a link to Canvas right here. When you click it, it takes you to this page. You can see that there's a login link for parents or observers. That's you. Also, there's a link right here that contains resources for Canvas parents and observers. It's a good place to start with like basic questions if you need to add more people to have access to see the students' work, however you would like to handle that. It's just a little bit of extra information. So you'll use this link to log in. When you log in, this is the screen that you'll see. You'll see your student's name right here. You'll see your name right here. Once you get logged in, this page right here is the list of the students' classes. So you'll see this student has Mr. Fuentes for algebra, has Ms. Pacheco for English, Ms. Rome for IPC, and so on. These are the students' classes. The Counselor Connect class is not a real class. It's just a place that if the counselors need to distribute information, it goes to every kid. So every kid has this link. Also, and this particular student is in cross country, so this particular student also has a link for that. So based on what your student has, you may see a variety of tiles here, but the one that you're looking for, from what I understand, is English. So you would look for English 1A, and that's going to be the English course. Once you're in there, usually there's going to be a splash page like this where it just gives some kind of information, usually the teacher's schedule, phone number, email address, that kind of thing. Over here, this side menu is the one that we're going to use though. Once you're here, once you're in the course, the first place you're going to want to look is grades. When you get to grades, you will see a list of everything that the student has been assigned so far. So looking at this, we've got a major grade that's labeled for this student. We've got some other, you can see whether they are major grades or minor grades just underneath each assignment title. But further, you can see the dates that they were due or will be due. You can see when they were turned in. You can see whether they are late or missing. And you can see how the student performed on that. These little check marks are for rubrics, meaning that it told them how many points they got for each thing. And this right here says that the student has received feedback, typed comments from the teacher. And since it says one, that means that just the teacher has said one thing. The student didn't answer there. Now, I do want to point out something on this page. Down here, you've got some... sorry about that. You've got some numbers and stuff that look like averages. In Canvas, it doesn't do the grade math correctly. So don't look at Canvas for averages. Look at Canvas for each individual assignment. So this student has only turned in 1, 2, 3 things for this semester. So that's the kind of information that you need to look for in Canvas. If you want to know what is the grade on their report card right now, that information is in Skyward. So really and truly, you can ignore this stuff down here in Canvas. You can ignore the totals of any kind. This stuff up here that talks about the assignments, that's what matters. So that's the information you get from the grade page. If you want to see what the students' instructions are, if you want to see what their assignments are, you need to go here to modules. When you click modules, it takes you to what is essentially a file cabinet. You can see that they are arranged by weeks. Each teacher does it a little differently. Some people, this will be week 1, 2, 3, and it'll go up as the year goes on. This teacher does it so that this week is always at top. Most teachers have this week at the top. So if you look here, you'll notice that some things have these little icons next to them. That tells you what kind of link you're looking at. So if it's got a little chain like this one, that just leads to a website. Now there may be an assignment on that website, it just depends, but that little chain lets you know it's a link. This right here is the one you want to look for, because this right here, where it's got the little page with the little pencil, that shows what her assignments are, and assignments go in the grade book almost always. So anytime you see one of these little papers with a pen on it, it will end up here in the grade sheet. So each of these that you see here in the modules has that little paper pen icon. The paper clip usually means that it's just an attachment. So most of the time that's going to be like a PDF or maybe a song or a video clip or an extra set of instructions. But that paper clip means that there's nothing to turn in, just that there is more information there. This one right here with the paper and pen, those are the ones you want to pay attention to. When you click on one of those assignments, what you and the student will find are instructions to complete that assignment. So this is everything that the student is expected to do for this assignment. Also included very often are links. If you see this little down arrow, that means there's something to click on and download. So here, it's the examples for how to write this response. So if you click there, they'll get more information. All of these things are expected to be color-coded as instructed, etc. There's a part 1 and a part 2. There is a LI, means learning intention. Here's what the learner is supposed to know at the end of this. SC is the success criteria. How does the student know when they have succeeded? So that's what they're looking for on the assignment that they've produced. Notice that at the top of every assignment, we've got a due date. So this one was due on the 13th at midnight. We've got the number of points available. We've got what type of thing they should be turning in. So for this one, they should be uploading a file. And available means when can they access it. So that means if the teacher opened this up for them on September 6th, and it was due September 13th, that means that they had 1 week to complete this work. Here are the instructions. They'll also, when the student sees this, there will be a button up here that says Submit Assignment. If the Submit Assignment button says Submit Assignment, that means they have not turned it in. If that button says Resubmit Assignment, then they have turned it in. So if a student if you're asking your student, have you turned this in? Has your teacher graded it? One way that you can tell outside of here is that you can look at their Canvas and see what that button says. If it says submit, they have not submitted it the first time. They've not turned it in. If it says resubmit, that means they at least tried to turn it in once, and there will be a date and time stamp for that. So those are the basics that give you the information that parents typically want to know. They typically want to know, how do I know if something's been turned in? How do I know if it's been assigned? And what was the assignment? And how do I check what they got as a grade for every assignment? Has it been graded yet? So those are the basics. If you have more specific questions, talk to your child's teacher, and I am happy to make another video to show you in more detail the kinds of things that you might expect to see in Canvas.